You know, every now and then there's something that's so common sense that you think, why did I not think of that? I took one look at it at ICAST this year and I said, that's genius. Why have we not thought of that before? And the answer is just because we hadn't. I remember when I walked into Gamakatsu's booth, I don't even know, close to 20 years ago now, and I saw the EWG hook where as a J-point hook would be off to one side. So the angle of the pull on a J-point is like this. So the hook will naturally flex when you set the hook on a fish. Now, a J-point hook is like a nail gun. You've got a amount of force applied to drive it through, whereas a circle hook's a mechanical process. Well, Gamakatsu years ago came up with EWG, which took that angle and the hook point and lined it up. So the angle of the pull was in line with the hook point because it carried out and went around and then came back up. I remember looking at that in one split second and I got it. And I'm thinking, why in the world why have we not thought of that before? Well, now everybody does that. So at ICAST this year, I go back and I see all they did was hand me this right here. And they said, what do you think of this? And I looked at the package and it said, Octopus Circle Out-Barb. And I looked at the hook and I thought to myself, holy smokes, that's genius. One of the biggest issues with a circle hook, obviously, is it is not a force, it's a mechanical process. So you let the hook actually do its thing, it rotates into the jaw hinge and it holds itself in place there. Well, if you would stop and think of how that actually happens and where the barb is actually placed, it's placed in the wrong place. I'm going to show you this hook because it's a bigger hook. It's one of their big eye hooks. And of course these work fine. It's what we've been doing for years, but I think they've invented a better animal. The barb is on the inside right here. The point goes down at a 90 degrees right back toward the shank. Well, if you were to take this barb and take it off and put it on the back side, you do a couple of things. Number one, you'd make the hook 3 times stronger. They've already tested that and they know it. Number two, if you think of how that hook will rotate in and what will hold it in place, that barb being on the outside will pin that to the side of the jaw or the front or wherever it gets hooked in, and it'll hold it in place a lot better and more efficiently than it would on the inside bend. So besides it being 3 times stronger, it's a more efficient hook for holding the barb in place. Now they haven't switched all of them yet. There's a lot of testing still needs to be done. And obviously I'm going to be using a lot of circle hooks because you know that's my gig. But the neatest thing I've seen in circle hooks in a long time is something that is so simple and so easy to comprehend that it's amazing to me that it hadn't happened. But so was the EWG 20 years ago, that is one of the favorite hooks of everybody out there now and has pretty well replaced the J hook in bass applications especially. So I'm extremely excited about this. This actually says sample on it. Doesn't even say quantity because it doesn't exist yet. But Gamakatsu is always on the cutting edge. They're always thinking about things, not thinking about what people are using all the time, but thinking about what's the most efficient and what kind of a trend can we create by being just smarter about how we design hooks. Because every single wheel hadn't been invented yet, and I think we just found a new one.